Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It is of course Chelsea of She Designs Things. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering all of the comments and questions that you guys leave under my videos that I have totally been neglecting over the last 4 weeks. Apologies, my bad. So let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, so I don't want to feel like I am ignoring your questions. I have just been extraordinarily busy these days, and then also dealing with the fact that I have IIH and I started a new medication, and that has had me completely exhausted. If I'm honest, I have just been sleeping through life the past 2 weeks. I would rather not, but that is why I haven't been able to respond. So I wanted to take this morning, since I have more energy in the mornings, I want to kind of take the time in the morning to really focus on my YouTube, since that's about the only time I'll have. And then at the same time I have insomnia, so it's kind of weird, but I digress. Y'all don't care about none of that. So let me answer some of your questions. I absolutely love your videos. Why, thank you. I am glad that you enjoy my videos. Great tips. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be able to help all of you. Can't you hear you? Please speak louder. A lot of people, not a lot, but some people say this, and I find that it's not my microphone, it's your device. I know it sounds rude. It sounds completely rude to say that. However, I have multiple devices and I monitor my audio so that it's not super loud. If you're using a lower quality headphones, I use Sony XM4s whenever I'm listening to my videos or when I'm monitoring myself. And trust me, it sounds like I'm screaming, or I'll get too much of the sounds. Therefore, I do have to record my own audio at a lower frequency because I do have a natural tendency to enunciate certain words. And I have a pop filter on it for the p sounds, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But that's all I'm saying. If you can't hear me, it's likely the device you're using does not support some of the frequencies that I am using to record my audio. So just keep that in mind. But I'm so sorry that you can't hear me. That does ruin the experience for you if you are unable to hear. So I'll try to put subtitles and things like that just to make things easier. If I am not exhausted, I must be honest, if I'm not exhausted, I'd love a what next 3 features you'd like to see video. Honestly, that sounds great. And Eddie always has such great suggestions. I mean, I don't have to do a whole video about it, but I can honestly tell you the next 3 features that I would love to see. I would love to see Google actually implement their own e-commerce. The thing is, okay, no, I'm not going to say that, because what I like about Google is that you are able to use whatever e-commerce option you want. What I would love to have is that it's crawlable. I don't want to have to do any backdoor dealings. I don't want to have to do anything to that effect. I just want to, have everything work right out of the gate, I don't want to have to, if you do this workaround here, and I've gotten so over workarounds that I don't make videos about workarounds anymore. I just grew past them. So I know you guys have probably noticed that, she doesn't post workarounds anymore because it's irrelevant. If you have to do a workaround, then it's not the platform that you want to use. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta say it like that. So that's kind of one thing. Workarounds. I wouldn't say e-commerce. What else? I would like to see the sites be crawlable. Like I said, that would be a feature that I would like. The sites to be crawlable. The option to change button stylization is 2. I prefer square buttons, which is, okay, the new trend. Everybody who's into design already knows what the new trend of websites kind of consist of, what they are right now. And for me, I didn't really notice the trends. I don't really care so much for them, but being an artsy kid, an artsy fartsy student, I do recognize trends, and I do fall, a little bit leaning towards that trend. So the latest trend in web design is the neo-Brutism, and that's based off of this architecture style, okay, of like sort of these modern shapes. You know, if you think of these, you know, old architecture buildings that were like super angular, like what is it, like Tron, just really angular shapes and then bolded outlines. So Google does have that as a style of theirs. I've actually seen it whenever I get notifications for Google Connect and for like some of the upcoming events that Google has. So whenever I see like they have it, I'm like, why can't we have that on the Google sites? That would be lovely. So that's one thing I would say that I would like to see, is that Google implements the neo-Brutism. And just so you know what it looks like, this is what that style is, that outline. And if it looks sort of familiar to you, that's because if you look at my design here, I am using it here. So this is what I mean by the buttons. This is an image. I would prefer not to use an image. However, you know, I'm not going to be upset about it. I decided to switch these out to an image just to make it easier, but I would prefer to have more button stylizations come in, such as instead of round, maybe square. Just saying, if you're listening, Google, can I get some square buttons with some outlines around here? Can I really get some somebody else? Let them know. We want square buttons with outlines, and we want to be able to change the density of that, like the thickness of the outline. That's all. Is that too much to ask for? I think that's too much to ask for. But anywho. So yeah, we have that. I think those are two things. I can't think of a third one right now. I mean, they kind of already give. You know what? No. I do have a third one based on the latest feature. That would be the themes. If you go in themes and you have show frame, I would like the option from show frame from just color. And I do foresee this being an option in the future from right here where it says spacing, default, you have show frame. So if you remove the frame, you won't see it. But I would like the option for it to be an image in the background. I already get the feeling that that is something that Google plans to implement. So I'm not too concerned about that. So yeah, those are the three features that I would like to see. So thanks for that suggestion. I can't speak this morning. Too much coffee, apparently. All right, so the next thing I see, hi, this video was very helpful. How were you able to make your site mobile friendly? Some stuff from my site cuts out in mobile view. So I use forward ground thinking. If you are using images in the background of your Google site, which is what I assume is why things are cutting out for you, if you're using it in the background instead of a foreground image, that is how you're going to lose content. Notice that I don't really put things in the background. Everything on my Google site is on the foreground. That is because if you want your design to be responsive, you have to start using the foreground. And let me see if I got here's the example. So this is a foreground image. If I were to place all three of these in the background, whenever I went to go to mobile view, it just wouldn't be responsive. It wouldn't stack like this, the way that you see it now. And I did say that these are images, and you see that they show up really well. I guess I could make a video about how I get these buttons to be responsive, but I kind of already went over it in another video. But anywho, yes, so just start shifting everything that you typically would have as a background image and use it on the foreground. A lot of people, when they're designing their Google sites, I see this all the time where they add their logo to the background. Don't do that. Do not do that. That's the only way I can say it. Stop doing that. Don't do that ever again. Just don't do that. You're taking what is typically a foreground image and you are placing it in the background because you think that it needs to be in the background. And that is where I find a lot of people are messing up in their designs. They're placing everything as a background image, which serves you no purpose. For one, it's just background noise, and Google, reads it as nothing. That's why you don't even have the option of adding like alt information to it. You should be adding alt information to the images that you have in your background before you upload it to your Google site. I will make a separate video about why that's important, just as a web design sort of practice to get into. But, just saying, pay close attention to where you're placing your content, and that should fix your issue. But good question. Also, without seeing it, I'm not sure. All right. This is a good tutorial, but is it possible to grab the full video from you? I got lost at the HTML part and have struggled to build the HTML part on my own. So the contact form to Sheets, to email and app scripts. Yes, I did cut that video way down, because it was like an hour long, and I have a tendency to over explain. And sometimes when I over explain, I feel like people get lost. So instead of me trying to over explain, I just ended up cutting it down. I'll try to redo the video to make it easier, if anyone's interested in that. A lot of people are like, I'll just do it with the chat GPT. Okay, good luck. That's the only thing I gotta say, because a lot of people forget this, but that's a tool. And if you're skipping all the rest of the steps for web design, you are screwing yourself, just because you think you know things based on the fact that AI has written it. But I'm just saying, don't do that. So I will try to do this for you. I'm going to actually reply with, I'll try to upload the long video for you. Yay! Or I'll try to redo it. We'll see. All right. Ooh, excited about the blogger video. Yes, I know. I'm so behind. But I do have a blogger video that I've already kind of made. I just need to take the time to actually edit the videos. And I haven't done that just because I've been so sleepy these days. So I do need to do that. All right, so this one says, cool. All right, cool. Great video tutorial. I mean, oh, okay, it was a tutorial. Sometimes the videos are not tutorials. So I'm like, okay, this is the Groovy site preview. This one says, thanks. You're welcome. And this is create a subscription form, sign up for Google Sites. And this one says, a great video, quick question. Where did you get the code for the first part using Google Sheets? And how can I redirect someone to another link when they click on submit? Can you make a tutorial on this, please? I tried the MailerLite, but the redirect doesn't work. Thank you. Okay. This is another thing that has to do with HTML. So when you're creating a redirect in HTML, I guess I can kind of show you this very quickly. Yeah, so the codes, whenever I make a video that has to do with code, you can actually go find the code on my site, which is blog.shedesignsthings.com. Sometimes people say, oh, like I can't, it's not working for me. A lot of times it's because you don't notice that I have removed my information from it, and you have to actually put your information in place of. So just keep that in mind. So here is my blog. That's blog.shedesignsthings.com. This is not my personal blog. This is my business blog, but I do talk about some personal things too occasionally, such as my intracranial hypertension there. And then let's see, I want to make sure I read the correct one. Create a subscription form, sign up for Google Sheets. I think this is the one, use HTML. Okay, the one that uses HTML. Let's go take a look. All right, so here is that video. I just wanted to make sure this is the correct one. So this is the HTML like form that I use for everything whenever I'm creating one for my clients. And there's the script that I have. The reason, if you find that it wasn't work, was I was using another program called what was it? Did I even put it in here? Let's see. I don't think I did. Okay, so I will need to. But yeah, I guess I will need to since I didn't put it in here. So creating a contact form with Google Sheets is pretty much the same process as that other form, like the sign up form. And the reason it's pretty much the same is because I think I'm using the same tools, which is, I want to call it Sheets something. Google App Script. So these are the breakdowns. Sorry guys, I haven't read this in a while. Let me go find the right one. All right, so this is sierraproject.org. This is the site that I created for my sister originally to share all of my codes. I am going to be making a lot of changes to this site because I do want to start making this centered around more of the nonprofit side of things, which is, drug and alcohol and mental health issues. So that is the whole purpose of the Sierra Project. Originally, it started as a way for me just to share the information that I have, created. So my sister was very giving, so I had to decide, like, okay, how do I want to give? So here is the newsletter sign up using Google Sheets and HTML. I do also share that for the code to work, you will need to connect your Google Sheet to Sheet. So it's actually Sheet database, so sheetdb.io. And that is how you get it to work. I will leave a link to this particular one. Let me get the copy the header so I can send it over to you. So let me reply. I know it's late. Hopefully you already found the solution, but just in case. So hey there. You can find the code here. Sorry for the late reply. Reply if I can spell. All right, reply. Awesome. And then this person here. Yeah, I've been on a hiatus apparently. I've responded to some, but not all. Sorry guys, I've just been so chaotic. Hello dear, thanks for all you do. Is there a way you can redirect WhatsApp number on Google Form to WhatsApp group automatically as Get Responses does? I have not tried that. I don't use WhatsApp. I wish that I could give you an answer. I'm sure there are other videos out there that could probably answer this for you, but I personally have no experience and don't want to commit to, actually, saying, yeah, do this. Like, I don't want to lie, so I don't want to do that. All right, so this is actually a post. I like some videos on how to code simple changes and things for Google site. I could have sworn I replied to this. So the reason I think I replied and said, you can't make hard-coded changes to Google sites. Impossible. You have zero access to the actual Google site code or script. Not possible. In the same sense that a lot of people think when they're making changes on any website builder, make that a website builder, not a content management system like WordPress, but like a Wix or Squarespace. They think that they are making these changes directly to the hard-coded system. That is not true. You are not making the changes that you think you are making. You are manipulating what they allow you to manipulate. But as far as like actual hard-coded changes, no, you are not. And then it's just not something that is possible. However, Google does allow you to embed HTML. The biggest issue is that it does not crawl, to my knowledge. I'll have to make sure. Maybe it's gotten better. Maybe they've decided, yeah, we're going to crawl the content. But again, why go through the why go through the trouble? So if you want more, like, if you want to start making those changes to a Google site, I recommend a different platform, because a drag and drop website builder should always remain simple. And I don't want to overcomplicate it. But that's the whole reason why I think I did respond. I think I said, you can't make hard-coded changes to your Google site. All right. I immediately fixed the buttons on my site after seeing this and centered some of the buttons. Thank you for sharing these updates. I do also receive a lot of information. Like, people are like, I wish Google would share that whenever they have these updates. If you have not signed up to receive the updates from Google, I am in a subreddit. Google Sites has a subreddit. We also have a Facebook group. Yeah, we also have a Facebook group. So a lot of times the information I see comes from other users. I think people think I work for Google. Your girl does not work for Google. One more time for those in the back. I do not work for Google. Just saying, I do not work for Google. I'm going to say it again. I do not work for Google. Who does not work for Google? Chelsea does not work for Google. I'm going to say it 100,000 times until somebody gets it, because I've gotten this so many times. And I'm just like, I don't work for them. I have no control. I ain't got no pull. I have no clout. I don't know anybody there. Like, I can't help you. Everything I learned is by trial and error. And I spend hours on Google's platforms using their products, their goods and services. So I highly recommend doing the same thing if you want to design with Google's stuff in mind. So just keep that in the back of your head. I don't work for them. All right, next. I know this was like 4 weeks ago, so it's probably out of date, but I have whole time a white bar in my Google site. Is that normal? I can't remove it. I can't fill it. If I add something new, a new block, etc., the white bar goes just a bit down. It's direct above the footer, and for me it feels buggy. So this is an actual thing within your Google site where you see this, I call it a temporary spacer. It is not a real spacer. It is just a spacer that Google has set right above, until you have a color, right above the spacer section here. You see how I have nothing here? Nothing. Like, it's just empty. You would think that in this section, it would freak me out. I would be like, oh man, what is this? This is the section in which most people are referring to that has no color. It's usually white. But because in this particular theme, my background default color is this cream color, that means that background default color is the same way. So if I was using, say, this one, or, well, you get the point. If I was using any of those other colors or stylizations, this section here would be white. It is nothing. It just denotes that this is the footer. You can't add anything to it, because when you go and view your site, it's literally just, it doesn't exist. It's not really there. You see how now everything has shifted and it's all together? It's just there. Sometimes there is an actual bug that does allow for that box to show up. Some people have experienced that issue, but they're also rushing. I do find that a lot of times I see posts where people are like, this white box won't go away. How do I get rid of it? And it's because they're like in such a rush, and a lot of people want things instantaneously. I will tell you this, web design is not instantaneous, nor is web development, nor is setting up your domain, your servers, your SPF, your DMX, your none of those things. They're seriously not instantaneous. They can take up to I want to say 24 to 48 hours for some things, and up to 2 weeks for other things. So yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, so I do hope this video was helpful in answering some of the questions that you guys have left over the course of the last 4 weeks. Like I said, I have so many videos that I have recorded. They just need to be edited and like uploaded, and it's like a whole process that I just can't sit still long enough to focus on. at times, and then half the time I'm falling asleep. So it just makes it a little bit tricky. And then I also have so many designs, so many new designs. But I'm also really like meticulous when it comes to my details and just making sure that everything makes sense and that everything is aligned and that it looks good on multiple devices and that the instructions are clear, because I have a tendency to overcomplicate my instructions at times. And, you know, sometimes I have to think like, okay, well, you can dumb it down, but sometimes it's a little bit too detailed or it gets confusing. So I am trying to work on, you know, creating instructions that are a little bit clearer. And then I'm also working to create my own course on Google Sites, especially as I progress. I personally feel like I'm a dominant person in this Google site fight, you know, but we're gonna talk about that. All right, so thank you again so much for watching. I do hope this video answered all of your questions, like I said, and of course, laters.